Here, in North America, several hundred years in the future, I welcome you to the dystopian society of the novel Uglies. In this society, everyone is supposedly equal, but they are separated into two classes of people, pretty and ugly. Uglies are normal people, like you and me, but pretties are people whose appearances have been altered by plastic surgery. Pretties are what everyone in this society aspires to become, including our protagonist, Tally Youngblood. Tally lives in Uglyville, the gloomy outskirts where uglies reside, watching from the sidelines as the pretties enjoy life and party all night in the glamorous, larger-than-life New Pretty Town. Missing her childhood friend, Paris, who recently became pretty, Tally sneaks into New Pretty Town.
I need to see Paris at least one more time before I can become pretty in 3 months.
Tally manages to see her friend one more time. During her dramatic exit from New Pretty Town, she meets a rebel girl named Shay,
Sup?
with whom she quickly becomes best friends.
Come on, Tally, you got this. Just keep it going.
I'm doing it! I'm doing it! Oh.
Hey, have you ever felt caged, trapped, or just like a gosh darn prisoner? Well, not anymore with our new and improved hoverboard. This baby can take you practically anywhere. It's basically freedom in the form of transportation. Buy one today at $999.9. Thanks.
I can't wait to become pretty. Our lives will be so much better.
Tally, I don't want to become a pretty. I like my ugly self, and I'm proud. So I'm running away with my friend David.
Wow, I knew you talked about running away, and I knew you were really rebellious, but I thought it was just a phase.
Is that a phase, Tally? Wow. Anyway, you should come with me if you want. Here's this weird map thing. Bye.
Tally becomes increasingly conflicted as she struggles to decide whether to follow Shay or become pretty.
I've always wanted to become a pretty, so I guess I'll have to stay.
On the day of Tally's operation, she is taken into a mysterious building with mysterious people. This plot twist is a huge complication. Tally is exposed to a side of her society she has never seen before, a darker side run by people known as cruel pretties.
Hello, Miss Tally, and welcome to Special Circumstances. I am Dr. Cable. I hear that a close friend of yours has disappeared and given you something to help find her. I want you to follow her and expose the society she has run off to, the smoke.
But I don't want to betray my friend.
If you don't, you will never be pretty.
I have no choice because as of right now, I'm very selfish and only looking after what I want.
Good. Now, you will take this heart pendant.
Hello, I'm sorry to interrupt this program, but here we have a symbol. Dr. Cable gives Tally this heart pendant to enable her to betray Shay and the smoke, so naturally this pendant is a symbol of treachery. The pendant also represents Tally's connection to her quote-unquote mission and her mental confinement as she struggles with the idea of betraying her friend.
Anyway, this pendant is a tracker. When you find Shay, you and the smoke, you will open it and activate it, and we will be there in a matter of hours.
And so, Tally begins her journey to the smoke, solving Shay's coded note as she goes. Hello, I'm sorry to interrupt this program, but here we have another symbol. The symbol here is the white orchids. They symbolize the world of pretties and how it is not what it seems. The pretty society may be beautiful on the outside, but on the quote-unquote inside is parasitic and destructive, like the orchids, which destroy the land, leaving a sandy ruin in their wake. The pretties use fire to prevent the orchids from overrunning the land. This is ironic, since the orchids symbolize the pretties and shows that the pretties will lead to their own demise. Tally reaches the smoke after a grueling journey where she meets David, and he shows her the ways of the smoke and the real world.
Hi, I think you're really brave for coming here all on your own just to see your friend again. That's really impressive, so I think I love you now.
Wow, that's really sweet. But little does he know that I'm here for completely selfish reasons, and his image of me is completely wrong. But it makes me feel important, like I'm a pretty, so I won't set up the pendant, at least not yet anyways.
Hello, I'm sorry to interrupt this program, but here we have some character development. Tally is beginning to shift from her selfish, childish state to a more mature individual, establishing her role as a dynamic character in the novel. The transition only begins to occur with the introduction of David, who shifts her view of the world by mixing her view with his own, claiming that
What you do, the way you think, makes you beautiful.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
Here is more character development. Tally realizes that she doesn't need the surgery to be beautiful, as she can be beautiful outside of set parameters. David is again the person whose insights lead Tally to change her views. Shay notices that David is paying more attention to Tally than her and becomes extremely jealous, damaging the friendship between Shay and Tally.
Hey Tally, can we talk?
Yeah, sure, what about?
About David. It's kind of weird. He hasn't been talking to me lately, and he says he's got stuff in his mind and stuff. I noticed I even talking to him a lot lately. It's kind of weird. Don't you have a boyfriend or something? Shouldn't you tell him about that?
I guess it just hasn't come up.
Well, that's convenient.
Here is more character development. Shay becomes jealous of Tally's relationship with David, showing the part of her personality that is less than mature. Tally attempts to talk to David, but he takes her to meet his parents, who ran away from the government after uncovering the controversial information about the pretties that David's parents discovered during their time working on the operation that turns uglies to pretties.
Breaking news! Today we are going to talk about government censorship. Censorship is a very common sign of dystopia. In this dystopia and many others, those in power censor things that may damage the citizens' view of the society. This is extremely prevalent throughout the entire novel, as it is what allows the society to maintain control over their people and enforcing conformity, another major topic in the book. Two major themes that revolve around this central topics are censorship for the purpose of control can lead to negative repercussions that create distrust and misconceptions in a society, and a government's use of negative conformity to create an illusion of equality can lead to a rebellion against the government.
David's parents reveal that the pretty surgery not only modifies the body, but the mind as well, forcing all who undergo it to lose their personality, allowing the government to force conformity among the people through the form of brain lesions. Tally is quite shocked by this news and decides not to betray the smoke, Shay or David, and throws the pendant into a fire, solidifying Tally's character development from a selfish child to a mature adult, and also symbolizing Tally breaking away from the standards of society. Unfortunately, the destruction of the pendant activates the tracker due to a backup system that, upon destruction, a signal will be sent out. Special circumstances then bursts into the smoke and takes everyone hostage. Tally gets captured and thrown into a rabbit pen full of other Smokies. Here, she finds Shay, who accuses her of causing the invasion.
You did this. Was it nothing to steal my boyfriend? You to betray the whole smoke too?
No!
Are you Tally Youngblood? Come with me!
See, I told you she's a traitor!
Tally is taken away to talk to Dr. Cable, and after talking to Dr. Cable, Tally escapes from the Specials. She and David set off to rescue the Smokies who were captured, breaking into special circumstances. They manage to find everyone and escape successfully with a few of the original Smokies, David's mother, and a new pretty Shay who has become petty and self-obsessed. Maddie, David's mother, managed to steal information from Dr. Cable about the lesions, and is able to create a cure. But Shay has some reservations about taking the cure.
Do you have brain lesions that your government put in your brain that you do not know about? Well, now there's a cure. Although this cure is experimental, and it is a 1% chance that will leave you a vegetable. However, I believe it is worth the risk. But of course, I cannot force you to do it. I'm not like our government, and we're not experiment on unwilling subjects. Our government, who put these lesions in your brain, experimented on all of you without your consent, and then chose not to tell you about it.
You don't want to take the cure? You don't want to be free from the brain lesions?
No, wait, you say yourself, those things aren't even safe.
We have to give it to her anyways. We have to save her from the brain lesions.
No way! I will not cure someone against their will. It goes against the oath I took as a doctor, and I will not lower myself to this society's standards.
After Shay refuses to take the experimental cure, Tally, in her final character development, offers to give herself up to special circumstances so that they could test the cure. This exhibits Tally's newfound selflessness and willingness to help others, also displaying her developed maturity. We hope that you've enjoyed the pilot of Uglies.
This program was brought to you by Cliffhangers United and the Figurative Language and Voice Association. Now, a word from our sponsors.
We here at Cliffhangers United want to thank you for tuning into this program. Our use of syntax has helped create suspense for many authors struggling to keep readers engaged, and we can help you do the same. To use cliffhangers, simply start and end your chapters with telegraphic sentences, and then contrast those with extremely long sentences of details. Scott Westerfeld, the author of the Uglies series and one of the pros, utilizes this technique to create suspense and to entice his readers to continue reading his story.
Are you tired of writing monotonous papers and boring narratives? Do you need help making your writing more vivid and detailed? Then we have the tutorials for you. Our founder, Scott Westerfeld, popular author of the Ugly series, personally provides examples of state-of-the-art similes, personification, and detail-rich imagery. Throughout his writing, Westerfeld uses similes to explain the dystopian elements in technology to readers by comparing those complicated elements to everyday things or events in the 21st century. Personification is utilized commonly to give those usually pointless, inanimate things important roles and almost characterizing them with vivid details. A stylistic characteristic of Westerfeld is the extensive use of imagery and detail. This detail also sets the scene for the storyline to follow, setting the mood and tone as well. Want to use figurative language like the prose? Go to scottwesterfeldvoice.ugly to find out more.